Hello YouTube and welcome to Warrior Camping. Now today I've got another tent for you that I've had a very long time. Since I was a kid I've had this tent. I've always looked after it. When I was a kid this was like my pride and joy, this little tent, because I really loved it. I thought this was like owning a Hillenberg. To me, this tent was fantastic. Now, I know it's only a Eurohike, but compared to other tents I had, this thing was absolutely lovely when I was a kid, and I didn't know anything about tents, so I thought this was like a top of the range, fantastic tent. I didn't realise that it was only a Eurohike. When I was a kid, this was like the Rolls Royce or the Ferrari of tents to me. So I always looked after this. It has never been up the woods. It has never been out in the mud. I really took care with this. People weren't allowed in it with their shoes on and all that. I was like, this was my special tent. It's only came out on special occasions. It's never went out in the winter. I had other tents for that. So this tent was really well looked after. And it does show, because it has been used a fair bit, and this thing is in really nice condition still. As you see as I put it up, this thing really is in lovely condition. And I know it's not a valuable tent, it's only a Eurohike. But when I was a kid, this was my like special tent. My pride and joy, this one was. And I can't really remember where it came from. I think someone gave it to me. And I don't think it was that old when I got it. It was a few years old. It wasn't new, but when I got it, it was in lovely condition. So it was like a big thing. 'Cause all I had before, I had tents that like really was a lot better than this. But for some reason, being a kid, I loved the colour of this. I loved because it was tall and the shape of it, and it was all like a little bit not fancy, but it seemed fancy to me as a kid. So this was like really looked after, this old tent. And as you see, as it goes up, it shows, because it has been used a fair bit, this tent, but it is like still really nice condition. So I did have like other tents, a few of them that I've still got, like the one I've already put the video on YouTube, a Cubmaster or a Cobmaster, whatever it's called. Now that's a really nice tent. That's so much better than this. The materials it's made out of and everything. That is a really like a bit of a high-end little lightweight tent. But I didn't love that like I did this. That was like used and abused. That did go up the woods. That went everywhere. But I didn't do that with this Eurohike. But like now, I love that other Cobmaster or Cubmaster, whatever it's called. I love that more than this really, because of the adventures and all that I had in that Cubmaster. I spent so much time in that Cubmaster, winter and all that. When this tent really only come out like special occasions, be like I'd get this out. I used to love setting this up, set it up, be like showing it off really. I really thought it was something fancy. And then I remember one of my friends, he got hold of a Rambler 10, but it wasn't as nice condition as my one. So we used to have the pair of them up in each other's gardens, two Ramblers side by side. His one was blue, I think, like a light blue colour. We used to have the pair of them set up. So two of us would sleep in mine and two people would sleep in his. So we'd have like four people sleeping over in someone's garden. It'd be like really good. But I would only have done that with this in the summertime, because I thought this tent was fantastic. So as you can see, it's got the three poles. So it has got the ridge pole, this one pole either end, and then the ridge pole over the middle. So that's all there is really to this tent. But the poles are quite heavy, like that tent I put on the other day, that Cubmaster. The poles on that thing are light as a feather, all lovely aluminium and that. But on this, they're not. They're heavy. So you have to dive in the tent. Get the first pole in. I know how this one works. I've done it loads. You have to dive under this sheet and get in there and find the little loophole and stick the pole through it. So in we go. Find the little loop somewhere in here it is. Yeah, let's see, it's further back. Where is it? There we go. It's near the vent, above the vent, so I'll find it. Right, so I've got the little loop. That's all you need to do. Find the little loop and then you put that big spike through it. And up she goes. So there's the little loop. So you just find that little hole, push your pole through it, and then away you go. The back is up, and it is easier this one again. If you've got someone with you to hold it, Amy's going to hold it up for me. I can do this one on my own, but it's like tricky. You have to be fast with it. I was a kid, I could whack this up on my own in no time. I'd put pegs in first. I know where to like lay everything out. I'd put 4 pegs round, put guidelines on them, and then I'd put the pole through and just loop them over the top of the pole and tighten it up. And then I'd put the ridge pole through because it goes through like a canvas loop on the top of the tent to hold the middle of the inner. So I'd put it through there, get that in place, hold that, go the other end, put the other pole through, put the ridge pole on it, and then I'd have strings there ready and I'd just quickly whack them on it and it would hold it up enough for me to go and put a few pegs in, and then it was up, and then I'd sort of move the strings a bit and tension them up, but I could do it where I'd get it up quite quick. And then once I'd gone round and pegged all the inner, it'll hold itself in place. I'd take the strings off and then do the fly sheet and that, and then put the strings back on over the top and tension it all up. So I used to do it like little routine, go round, whack this thing up on my own. But not now. Amy's here today, so I'm not poncing about with all that. I just get her to hold it. So she is at the other end, behind the tent, holding that first pole. Because it just makes life so much easier. So you can see we're putting the second pole in now. And that goes in exactly the same as the first one. Just goes through a loop at the top and then stands on the ground. And then you get this ridge pole. Because there's 2 of you, you can do it like this. Get a ridge pole and you just thread it through that loop at the top of the tent, and then away you go. You just put one end on the spike, the other end on the spike, and you still need someone to hold it after that. That's where my bits of string would have come in and held it, but she'll hold it, and then I'll go round and just peg out this inner a bit at the bottom, and then it'll stay up. Once you get a few pegs in this thing, it'll stay up on its own. You only need to peg the 4 corners. So I'm just getting that over. And then I'll get Amy to hold it in place for a minute and just go round and peg each corner, and then it will hold itself up. So that's all you need to do really. So you can do these ridge tents on your own, but they're just a bit of palaver and you need a bit of string. Without the strings you wouldn't do it on your own, it would just keep falling over. It really would, just like, as soon as you try and go the other end to do that other pole, the first pole would fall over. So you need the strings ready to go. So just do that, put a peg in this corner, and I should go along to the other side and put a peg in that side, and then all you do is like pull it out on them rubbers and put another peg in, and that like holds the sides of this inner up a little bit, holds like the sides of the bathtub inner. So just go over to the other side, do it again, pull it out, whack a peg through that little white loop. Now, I'm surprised them little white loops, none of them have ever broken. They haven't. They're only a little plastic loop, but they're all original on this. Couple of the rubbers have broken on it over the years. I've just put a bit of string in it. But these little plastic clips, they have survived. So they must be made out of a strong little bit of plastic, them little clips. Because on a lot of tents, they don't last 10 minutes, them little, when you have them little plastic bits like that. They're always snapping and you end up having to tie something round it. What I have found that works really well, like if them little rings break or your plastic bits on your tent or whatever, use like, you get the rings that you put your keys on, them ones that just open up in it and you thread your key round, go round till it's on it. They work good through them. So if you break one of them clips, an easy little replacement is just one of them key rings. Works well. So that's all you do like that, innit? Put the rubber on. So one peg does the bottom and then that other peg is just pulling the sides of the tent out a bit to give it its little bathtub. So you just go round and do all that. Do this front corner. See that back pole stay up now because I've got the two pegs in it. That'll stay there. So as soon as I do this one, the little inner will be up on this tent. It won't go anywhere. It only needs the four corners pegged and it will all hold itself up. But it's just getting them pegs in can be a bit of a palaver. And some of the big tents are hard work to do it. I've had some big ridge tents over the years. You struggle doing them on your own, you really do. So that's it. Put that little peg in there with the rubber. And it has lost a couple of rubbers over the years. You can see this one here, I've put a bit of string round it because the rubber's broke. But a lot of them has survived. They're original. Apart from this one, I think. There might be one more that's gone and I've put a bit of string on it. Might be. I should put a bit of elastic on it, really. I might change that. Get a bit of like bungee cord or something put on it. Because I think last time I used it that broke. I was a bit gutted because it was all original and then one of the rubbers broke and all I had with me was a bit of that yellow string, so I tied it on. But really, I should put something a bit more elastic on there so it's got a bit more flex in it so you don't rip the tabs. Because that's what them rubbers are for. They stop you putting too much strain on the tabs, gives it a little bit of movement in your tent so you don't rip nothing. When you use the string, it's got no give in it, so you do end up ripping stuff. Well, not on a day like today, but if it was windy, that's when them rubbers were really needed. When it's windy, they just take a little bit of give out of the wind, tent can move a little bit, cope with it all, and you don't rip them tabs off. So I will change that other one for a bit of elastic. Just get a little bit of bungee cord and do it. So that's all you do. That corner's in now. Just put another peg in on the rubber to pull out the little bathtub. And then it has got a couple in the centre. So I shall do them. Well, I've done the one the other side. Do the one this side. Do the centre one. And then she's up really the inner. That is all there is to it. So put a little peg in there. Push it in, stretch the rubber out, put another little peg in there, and then the inner is up on this one and I'll show you around it. Nothing fancy, but nice condition for an old little Eurohike tent, because I bet there ain't many of these surviving. I bet most of these just got used to death in the back garden with the kids and have just been thrown away. So I bet there's not many of these Eurohikes still out there surviving. I did buy one. I got one from the boot there. I found one of these and I bought it. I thought, yeah, I'll have that. But when I got it home, it had been left to go wet. It was all mouldy and all that, and you can't get all that out of it. So it had it really. That was a few years ago. I didn't pay a lot for it, but I was really happy with it. Thought, oh, nice, I've got another Rambler. But then it wasn't no good. I think the fly sheet was alright. I think I've still got that somewhere. I kept hold of that and the poles as spares. But the inner, it had all rotted, all the stitching had rotted, it was just useless. It weren't worth trying to repair it, so I think that went in the bin, that inner, because it had it. It was all like eaten away in the corners. So even if you wanted to go round and stitch it all together, there wasn't enough material on it to join it back up. It had all been eaten away by something and that, so it was in a terrible state. So it's my own fault for not getting it out of the boot fair and having a look at it, but I didn't. So as you can see, it's got the little clips there, the little white clips that go on the little spikes at the top, stop the rain getting inside the tent. And I've got the cups for this that just stand on the bottom of the poles. You put the poles on the cups. So you do that, it just really protects the old ground sheet, because them poles do go through it. And oh no, I've only can't find a cup. I've lost one of my cups. Oh no, I had that last time I used it. Where's that gone? Oh no, I'm gutted. I've lost a cup. All them years I've had them cups and I've lost one. Oh no, lost one of my cups. I'll have to get one and replace it. I've got some more somewhere, I think. Got some cups. So yeah, as you can see, you zip it up. It's got the nice green front and then just the canvas sides. So it's alright, this, you know. It's a little bit dirty, but it's lovely condition. So I just sort the fly sheet out, put the fly sheet over the top. And that does the same. You do this easy enough, this fly sheet. I've done it loads. Sort of fold it up and get hold of the first hole in your hand and then put it over the front and then throw half the sheet over the other side and then just do the back loop and that's it, it's up. And then you just go around again, pull the fly sheet out and put more pegs in it and that's it. The little Eurohike could be up. Nice condition, this fly sheet, because I bet it's not made of no fancy material. So it would have only been a cheap little tent. So it's lasted really well, this fly sheet. Lovely condition. And it's probably not been rained on that much, this fly sheet. Well, not years ago, when I was a kid. If I had this pitched in the garden and it started raining and I was going to stay in the garden, I would have packed this down and gone and got another tent to put up. I wouldn't have had this out in loads of rain and all that. Now I would. It takes it. It doesn't leak and that. It's alright. If I was out in it now and it rained, I'd just get on with it. But when I was a kid, I was a little bit obsessed with this tent. It was like so well looked after. It wouldn't have been out in a storm. I would have put this safely indoors and got something else out to use. So that's it, the fly sheet goes over really easy round it, and then you just put pegs in the ground, pull the fly sheet out nice and tight, and there you have it, the Eurohike Rambler. Lovely. So that's it, you just put some pegs in it. And that's lost the rubber. Yeah, I thought there was another one missing, so a couple of the rubbers are gone on this fly sheet. And they did go last time I used it. They'd been on there all these years, and last time I used it, it did get a little bit windy, and it was like flapping about, and then it was flapping. And I was like, oh no, and when I looked, the rubbers had broke, so that's why I put the bits of string on it, put it back in place. Because it was like, it weren't really windy, but it was enough to break them rubbers, because they're really old, them rubbers, and they do go brittle. So I just put some string on it, round it. So I will do this. I'd forgotten that I'd done that, because I would normally, I only had like string with me, so I'd done it. But then I would put like a bungee cord on it, because it needs that bit of stretch really. And I had forgotten that the rubber's broke on it. And I'm a bit gutted that I've lost my little cup. I had that little cup years and years, and I must have left it behind last time I used the tent. So that's it. You just put that over because that stops the rain getting into the inner. Because it just gets through the little hole where it's got that like metal grommet and the pole goes through. There's a little gap round it and water will get in there without them cups. So I always put them on it. On all these tents you should put them little bits on it. And if you get a tent and they haven't got it, you can buy them cheap enough. Or you could even, if you had a bit of leather and you do a tiny hole on it so it's really tight on the spike and you force that down over the top, that'd keep the water out. Long as it's a really tight fit round the pole. So you can make your own little bits to do that. But if it rains and you've got nothing over that pole bit, water will get in there and start dripping down, staining all the tent up. So it is better to put something over it. Oh yeah, so loads of rubbers went on my old fly sheet. I remember now, they was all pinging because it was so windy. It was all flapping, all the fly sheet, and I'd lost all the rubbers. They'd all just broken when they was like old and perished. Because they don't last that long, them rubbers. They've done well on this tent to still have as many on it as what are on it still going. Because on most tents, the rubbers, if it's an old tent, they've all worn out years ago. They just go like brittle and snap, they go hard. These ones that are still on here are actually quite flexy still. For how old they are, they've still got a good bit of elasticity into them. So yeah, but you can't replace the rubbers because they must be in the factory. They're put on and then that loop must be sewn round them. You can't like put no rubbers on it. You'd have to unstitch the tabs and redo it. So you're not going to ponce around doing that. So you just get a bit of bungee cord and tie it. Like that black stuff like you'd get on a modern tent. I normally just use a bit of that 'cause you can get your hands on that easy enough. Just double it up, tie a little knot in it and away you go. So let's get me other little cappy now. Before I lose it, like I have me little cap that goes on the bottom of the pole, me little cup to take the pole. I'm gutted I've lost that cup. Right, gutted. I've had that cup years, always put 'em back in the bag and all that. And then last time I went camping, it's 'cause last time I went, when I used this, it was really windy and all that. It broke all my rubbers. And then when I was like packing it up, it was all raining and really chucking it down my brain. So I remember packing this up. I didn't put it back in the bag because I knew I'd have to dry it out. I just put it in my rucksack. So I put the tent in my rucksack and then like shot home and thought, right, I'll dry that out when I get in. But obviously I left my little cup there. Oh, poor little cup's been with this tent all them years and now it's been left in a field somewhere. Oh, I hope someone's found my little cup and he's looking after it. So I love that little cup, I've had it so long and I am gutted that I've lost that cup. I'll have to get a replacement in it. I think I have got some spare ones indoors but they're black. To get another white one that matches. So the zips all work good and that's still on this tent for an old tent. All my old zips work good on these old tents because every now and again I run a bit of candle waxel on them. Just get like a candle, you don't have to heat it up or nothing like that, just rub it on your zip. You only need to do it a little bit, rub it on your zip and then it just keeps your zip working nice. And a lot of the old tents I've got, the zips have stayed really nice condition. They haven't rusted and all that. And all I've ever done with them is a bit of candle wax. So I think it does protect them a bit from going rusty and that as well. But it definitely keeps them working nice. Because if you just leave your zip an old tent like this, it would have broken by now. It would have jammed up and done something. But a little bit of candle wax just keeps them going. So all you need to do. And I always remember I learnt that my friend's dad, because he had a tent and the zip was playing up and his dad went, I know a little thing, sort that out. Done the old candle wax and then the zip was going like a good one. And I was like, right, I'm going to do that with my tents. So I've done it ever since, every now and again. As soon as that zip feels a bit like it's a bit tight to pull. Get the old candle, rub it round on it and that. It works like a treat. Because you don't want to put oil and that on these tents. Alright, you could oil zip, but you don't know what's in that oil. There might be something in that oil that like just eats through the material, makes the tent perish. But candle wax won't do that, or I've never had it do anything to any of my tents I've used it on. Doesn't do no damage. Whereas I think if you put oil on them, it could like get into the material, and over the years it would just perish. So don't use the oil. If you got a sticky zip, get your candle out and rub a bit of wax on it. So I'm just moving the pole into place a little bit better and lining the front up a bit better. It was a bit baggy then on the old sheet, so just tensioned it up a little bit. So there she is. She is up, the old Eurohike Rambler 14. Lovely, look at that. Absolutely looking fantastic. Always looks good when I put this tent up. I know I'm biased, but look at that. When I was a kid, that was like having a Rolls Royce sitting there. A Ferrari or a Lamborghini that was to me. Look at it. I love this thing. It looks so much better than any other tent that I had. That's, I think, why I like this so much. I didn't realise that it was made not out of so good materials. I didn't realise it was a bit of a cheap budget tent. I just liked the look of it and thought it was absolutely fantastic. Whereas some of the other tents I've got do kind of now, with their age, they look better than this thing, they do. And they're worth a lot more than this is. But when I was a kid, this one was the one that I thought was the best tent that I owned. And it is a nice tent, look at that. If you had this, you'd use it now and again. You'd go camping in this, because it is good to use this thing, because it's so old and it's only a Eurohike. Alright, you see people out in the quality tents, the old ones, all the nice like Terra Novas, Wild Countries, other ones like that, some old North Face tents and all that, Mountain Warehouse. Because they're such good quality, they survive, so you see them. But these old Eurohike tents, they haven't survived, so you really don't see that many of them kicking about. Not in really nice condition. You do come across them, but not in condition like this one. This one is absolutely lovely condition. It's because it has been so well looked after, this thing. And I still look after it now. Because I've kept it so nice for all these years, I wouldn't take this out if I knew there was storms and that coming. You'd have no chance, because it just, I'd hate for this thing to get ruined now, because this is like, it's survived this long, so this will survive a hell of a long time in this condition if you look after it. And the older this tent gets, the better it'll become, because you will see less and less of them, because the old Eurohike tents will have fallen apart, but this one will still be going strong. So, like, you should think now, if you've got an old tent that you use, if it's a bit of a budget tent and you want it to last you a long time, you got to look after it a bit more. Whereas, like, the old Terra Novas, the Wild Countries and things like that, they last because they're built so well. The old North Face tents, like old other names I could go through. When they're a bit of a high-end tent, they last because of the materials. But this thing is not built like that. This is just like a cheap little tent, probably designed for kiddies to take in the garden and that. Or as it's called, do a bit of rambling with this, with the Rambler. Go rambling. So it wasn't like geared up like them Terra Novas and that, geared up to go up the mountain or the old Van Gogh false tens and all that geared up for the really bad weather. This ain't built like that. So it's good that this has survived as well as it has. So let's open the zip up and have a little look inside. You can see the zip's like a T. Up in the middle, do both sides. Both doors open up. And then you roll them back and it's just got little ties to tie the doors up. So I'll just put the camera down a second and then I shall do the doors, roll them up. So they just roll up with a bit of string. It's got no inner door on this tent. It's just this door and then you are in it. So it's just like a single skin at the front really. Not got the double doors. Because some of the other tents I delve on that is they'd have another door on the fly sheet. But not this one. It's just got... Oh no, look what I've just seen. Oh, I'm really happy. I've just seen the cup. The cup is in the tent. I must have just left it in the tent. I thought I wouldn't have left it behind because whenever I pack a tent up, before I leave that spot, I always have a good search round, make sure I've not left nothing behind. So I thought, oh, how did I lose that cup? It's in the tent. That's why I've rolled it up in the tent. Look, there it is. The cup is in the tent. Oh, it's happy days. I've found my cup. Oh, that's lovely. I'm glad about that. Matching pair. Don't need to get another white one. The long lost cup has returned. Happy days. So that's been in there all that time. I must have rolled it up with that cup in there. Got the pole out. That's because I was in a rush because it was raining. Got the pole and that out and left the cup in there. Oh, that's good. So you can see, it's nice in here. Nice and green. Lovely in here. Oh, and there's me little cup. Let's see. Hello, little cup. Put me cup on there, because I don't like that just standing on the fly sheet, on the ground sheet, sorry. It needs them cups. That's what protects it. That's why this ground sheet's still in nice condition. If I hadn't have used it with that cup, it would have holes in it now, both places where the poles go. But I've always done it with the cups on it. And it's alright on there for a minute, like while you put it up, because that pole has got that red rump plasticky bit on the end of it. But if that bit's missing, that plastic, put something on it, because if you've got a bare pole end, it will go straight through the ground sheet instantly. As soon as you peg out the fly sheet, start putting tension on it, you'll put a hole in your ground sheet, and you don't want to do that. So just if you haven't got them cups, get a little bit of thin wood, get anything, but put something under your poles just to stop them damaging that ground sheet, because you don't want holes in your ground sheet. It's ruined, and alright, you can repair it, but it's much nicer when they're in nice condition. Oh, it's lovely to be back in here laying down. Lovely, in the old Rambler 14. And as you can see, there's a lot of room in here. This is more like a three-man tent. Like my friend had the Rambler, I'm sure his was a 10 or a 12. But no, I think it was a 10. His one was smaller than this. His was like a two-man one. It was exactly the same. And look, you only get the one pocket. It's only a Eurohike, don't forget. So you only get the one pocket. And that was always my pocket. It was my tent, my pocket. Someone else in here, they didn't get a pocket because the pocket belonged to me. My tent, my pocket. So you only get one. Bit tight really. They could have give you two, ain't it? Could have give you one the other side as well. Because it weren't like they have done it to save weight, because the poles on this thing weigh a ton. So they could have give you another pocket. And there you see Amy's in here. There's loads of room in here, 2 people. 3 people in here easy. So Amy's straight in here. She's been in here before. She's stayed in here. Loads of people have stayed in this tent. So Amy said earlier, she said, what tent you doing today? Am I going to be doing a bit of filming? I went, yeah, you can do the camera if you want. You can help me put the tent up if you're here. I said, I'll do the old Rambler. She was like, what tent's that? I said, you know, the little green one, the lovely condition little Eurohike one. She was like, oh yeah, we doing that. Oh, I love that little tent. So she's a fan of this Eurohike tent. And you can see there, we're both laying out. You'd probably get 4 people in here at a push, at a squeeze, 4 normal sized people. Well, Amy's not very big, she's only little, but you would get 4 bods in here quite easy. 3 quite easy, 2 of you in here. Lovely. Look, if I'm over there, I've got enough room to sleep. She's got enough room her side. See, there's a ton of room in the middle. So it's quite big inside this old Rambler 14. Nice size, lovely as a 2-man 10. I've used this a lot on my own. It's lovely in here on your own. Nice tent. And it's quite warm tent and all. Does use this, I wouldn't use this like full blown winter, but you could go out in this like early springtime and all that and you'd be warm enough in there. It does stay warm in there compared to some tents just freezing. You can only use them in the summer, but this one, it will go out in the cold a little bit and it's warm inside. It's a nice little tent for that. Warms up nicely. And now look at her, does look good, the old Eurohike. You can see why when I was a kid I loved this thing. Just look at it. That does look a good looking tent, that is. Really is. The green with the green door and all that, and that little white pinstripe round it. Yeah, this thing looks really nice. And I like the way, I had another one like this. I don't know what happened to it. I had one and it had like 2 fly sheets. So you done one like this and then it had like a winter fly sheet that went over and went out even further. That used to look good, but I haven't got that tent now. I can't remember what happened to it. It was another one I had years ago, but sadly I haven't got it now. But it was good with the 2 fly sheets. So in the summer, you'd have it with the 1 fly sheet, and if the weather was bad, it had a big like canvas one that went over the top, so it gave you like another fly sheet. It was a good tent, that one, like the double fly sheet tent. So that is it really, the Rambler 14 from Eurohike. See, who said that Eurohike never made any good tents? Whoever said that was very wrong. They should have a look at my Rambler and then they can eat their words. Because Eurohike have made some lovely tents and this old Rambler is one of them. And with this old tent, a lot of people, it does get attention, this tent. A lot of people will come over and look at this tent. So they have a little look round it and that. And then they notice that Eurohike emblem on the side. And they will go, oh, that's a really nice tent and that's a Eurohike. Go, yeah, it is a Eurohike. And they'll be like, oh, I didn't realise Eurohike had been going so long to have made these old tents. So a lot of people don't realise that Eurohike has been going a long time. People think it's a more sort of modernish company. And alright, it's not as old as Van Gogh and companies like that, but it has been going quite a few years, the old Eurohike. So the old Eurohike vintage tents do exist out there. And this is one of them. Lovely, look at it. I know you like them. If you like your old tents, you gotta like this one, innit? You have to. You just gotta look at how nice condition it is. And it has got a nice shape to it. So the Eurohike Rambler 14 definitely gets the thumbs up from me. This is a fantastic tent that I've always looked after, and I will continue looking after this tent because I want it to last as long as it can, because I love using this old Eurohike Rambler. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe so you can join me again, because I've got loads more tents to show you yet. So I'm off now, and I'm going to spend the afternoon sitting in my lovely Eurohike tent, chilling out with Amy, and I might even cook us both a nice bit of lunch out the front of it. So let's go, lunchtime with the vintage Rambler.